today by the way, I'm sorry if I'm in my car talking to you guys. It's because I work mainly from my car, and I've been trying for the longest time to find a right time where like I can, sit down somewhere and talk to you guys. But then I think like I don't really need to have a different setting to have a real genuine conversation. So I want to address something that I feel like has been a big impact on my life, as well as like I see a lot of people in my generation and also the generation that are growing up right now, people that are in elementary, middle school, high school. The problem of having too much anxiety and depression, that has become more and more of a prevalent issue in today's society. I mean, I'm sure like people before had it, but I feel like in our fast-paced and more competitive world, that problem has increased. So I think that is a result of our increasingly advanced technology, but also at the same time the demand for increasing speed. I think definitely like our attention span has decreased by quite a bit since the older days. And also the importance of multitasking has exploded, because if you can't do several different things at once, you're not able to compete in today's market. And I think as a result of that, it has caused a lot of us to forget the importance of having a calm mind and a good heart. And I think that is the beginning of having a more happy and successful life. So I think happiness is a universal thing that every living creature looks for, even animals. If you look at the people around you or even your own pet, when they're suffering, they cry out for help, no matter what kind of suffering it is. So no living creature enjoys suffering and difficulty. So I think then we can assume the most important thing to a healthy life is to be happy. And I think happiness is a concept that a lot of people likes to talk about but don't really grasp. I think like especially for me, I think I'm confused by the concept of happiness, and because I related for the longest time with having material things. But I think in the end, the important thing to know is happiness comes from within. So you have to be happy in order to do the work that you want and to be successful at your work. I really believe we should work from inside out. Happiness, kindness, compassion, loving, beauty, it comes from inside out. It should not be external things, basically from outside in. So I'm going to tell you kind of like a short story about my own life and my own experience, because I think it's really important for each of us to kind of like look inward towards ourselves and retrospect on our past experiences. And I think that helps a lot with understanding. And when you actually understand and can relate to your own life, then that idea becomes more personal to you, and you will find more value within those, I guess, concepts. So at age 18, I was going through a lot had a lot of problems with my parents, and then it boiled down to the point where I had to say, I think I really want to. Well, I made the choice emotionally at the time. It wasn't like a planned thing, but I was really angry with my parents, also with myself, and then one day I was just like, you know what, I can do this without you guys. So I went out without any knowledge whatsoever of how to support myself, I really didn't have any concepts that adults should have had. But for the 18-year-old me then, I thought I knew enough. Like any teenager, I thought I was invincible. My first job is literally, at the time, I was working at a cafe, I think for $4 an hour, and then I had a research assistant position at my university. So I was making nowhere near enough to be able to pay for my rent, my tuition, my phone bill, basic kind of necessities. In the beginning, I was facing a lot of struggles with maintaining, basic necessities, and also continuing my education, which was kind of at the time, I thought that was the only thing I knew how to do well. So I kind of didn't know too much options outside of school. So I was just telling myself, okay, I was just pushing myself, okay, work, so you can, so I can maintain my daily life. And it took me about 2 years, I think. I finally landed a good insurance sales job, and I found out I was really good at sales. So at that time, I started to make a better living, and I got to the point where I didn't really have to be concerned about I didn't, because in the beginning I had to had a really detailed plan on budgeting and how to spend money and everything, how much I'm making, how much I'm putting out. After I got that, that position, that sales position, I was doing really okay to the point where I didn't have to think about money at all. So after I resolved the money issue, I started, having more time to be concerned about, inner problems I was having at the time. Because before, all I was focused on was, making enough to survive. So I didn't really have any time to be thinking about, who am I really? What do I really believe in? And stuff like that. And the other thing I was kind of facing at the time was that I didn't really have any time to be with my family, because at that time I was doing better with them. But I also didn't have enough time for my friends around me that I really loved, because they really helped me when I was at my lowest. So it made me really sad that all I had to think about was just work, making money. And it made me really empty inside, because I didn't know, other than survival, what I'm working for. I think I finally got to the point where I was I'm not really growing as a person anymore. Instead, I feel like I'm losing who I am because of that job. And then, so I had a dream for the longest time. I really wanted to move to Los Angeles. And I finally said, you know what, I'm going to follow through with what I really want to do. And I gave up a lot. I gave up everything to my old life, school, family, job, basically friends. And I came out here without any plans. So in this instance, I really have to thank the friends that I made over here that helped me, and also my parents who supported me despite me giving them a really hard time because I wasn't doing good myself. I was really sad. I was in a really bad financial state when I first moved out here. So I really felt at that point like I didn't know why I was still alive, because I felt like I worked so hard towards having a good financial stability and also a good social support around me. So I lost all of that. And then I really felt lost as a person. And at the same time, I was facing a lot of financial difficulties. So I wasn't doing well, and I was doing really bad for the past 2 years. I had a chance where I was able to introspect into myself more because I had a lot of time on my hand. I started working for myself, so I'm alone a lot of the time. So that gave me a lot of chances to be able to kind of like ask myself, like, why am I so sad? Like, why am I not doing well? You know, like, why am I so angry? Why am I not happy? And I felt like I really had to get that answer, and if I didn't, I don't think I can keep on living like this. So one day I just kind of like realized that I just finally understood that happiness is a long process, and there's different steps. But the first thing above all is you have to think about others more. That might sound a little bit hypocritical, but in order to be happy yourself, you have to think about other people's happiness as well. You have to look at other people's happiness and give more considerations for others in order for you to be happy. Because in the end, it will benefit yourself. So here's what I mean. In order to have a calm mind, you have to see things as they are. You have to see things realistically. For a long time, I realized that just looking back through my own experiences, I see that my mind and my heart was in a mess because I wanted all these things, like good relationships, having good financial stability, having money, having fame. And especially in Los Angeles, the pressure to have money and fame is even more prevalent than back home in the East Coast. So I realized that I wasn't happy because I first placed the values on the wrong things. I placed my values on things that are temporary. Your good relationship with someone can always fail. Or that person might be going through something and they can't be in your life anymore. And also things, having money, having toys in your life, those things are temporary as well, because it doesn't matter how much you have, everybody faces the possibility of losing those things. And when you lose them, if your value was placed in them and you lost those things, then you lost your value. You lost your hope along with your values as well. And hopelessness, trust me, does not feel good. That leads you to a very dark place in the worst case scenario. might not want to continue living anymore. So I think the most important thing is finding value outside of that. And what I mean is finding value within yourself. For example, happiness has to come from yourself first. So you have to have happiness within yourself, but not by monetary values or external things. You have to find happiness and compassion and empathy. Those things go hand in hand together. We're all born with the capacity to love and to be kind with others. But because of misconstrued values that we have, it creates a lot of mistrust between people. And biologically speaking, our passion for other people, our empathy, and our love are conditional based upon other people's attitude. So when people are nice to us, we're good back to them. But if they give us bad attitude, then suddenly, oh no, like I hate this person or I don't like this person, and you say something bad, and that creates more and more mistrust. And also, blind attachment to people can also create a lot of problems too, because blind attachment can easily, because it's dependent on the other person's attitude. So it's not genuine love. And if you lose that good attitude, that attachment becomes hate. And hate, as we know, human scientifically speaking, if you have more negative feelings in yourself constantly, then it actually shortens your life too. If you think about in a way that every person has the right to overcome their suffering and struggles, you're able to understand other people. So for example, a lot of times I'm angry because like if somebody, like was rude to me, I lose my temper. But now instead of just losing, okay, so let's jump back to something really quick. I think we all have emotions. We're all human, so it's natural to have emotions. But we also have the capacity for our brain to understand, to like analyze and logically. And I think, okay, so back to the example. So when someone is rude to me, I think, this person must be going through a lot, because I relate that back to my own life, and I think, okay, like when I was sad or angry, I usually, I did similar things too. I lashed out at people. I wasn't kind to other people. So then, once you understand that, you feel sympathy. You don't feel angry at them anymore. All you feel is just, I'm sorry, like you're going through a lot. I wish I could help you, but, right now is not the time. Yeah, but I hope the best for you. So you say that within yourself, and then you will feel calmer because you're not angry. You did not react to your emotions, because most of our emotions are spontaneous. They're influenced by like outside things, and then most of the time that spontaneous feeling usually leads to like pretty negative actions. So if you feel emotions and it's natural to, just let it happen, but don't act on it. Just sit on your emotions, feel it, kind of fully understand you're feeling that. Give it about half an hour. You will be more calm then. Then think about why it happened. Did you kind of self-reflect? Maybe there is something that you could have done better. So that way you will have more sympathy, more compassion for other people. And then you will have, most important thing is you will have a calmer heart, calmer mind, because you're able to see things as how they are and not controlled by your emotions. When you're calm and you're able to see things better, you're able to more realistically come up with plans to deal with those issues. There is no use to suffer, to dwell on certain negative part of your emotion, because you can. If you can do something, then don't dwell on that, because that will eat you literally alive. Just let it pass, do your best, let it happen naturally. It will be okay. And if you don't get something right now, it doesn't mean your life is over. That's okay. Work hard towards what you want, what you believe in. But I think the most important thing is to have a strong moral background. Then you can work more productive things with values, so then you can bring more positivity into this world. And I think it's very important for us to think about the positivity in other people's life. I think it's really important to not just worry about ourselves, because self-centered leads to me. And me creates the idea of us versus them, and that creates mistrust between people. And if you don't have trust between people, you won't have a good life, because when you have nothing, you really need other people's help. And if you bully, if you cheat, and if you hurt other people, you might gain some temporary satisfaction, but in the end, you will be hurting yourself, because we all live in one society, in one community. There is no way for you to survive by yourself in a larger society that's dependent on, we're dependent on each other for our survival and for our well-being and our happiness. So logically and spiritually, I think it's really, really important for people to help each other, because in the end, you will be helping yourself. And that way, when you care about other people more, in the end, you're caring about your own happiness. Just remember that. I hope this helps. I hope all the best for you. I'll see you on here next time. Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out and just watching this incredible next chapter of my journey. And I think it will be a great one. I really hope this video gave you some little bit of help, and I really hope it made your day somewhat a little bit better. If you enjoy this type of videos, give me a subscribe. There will be more coming up. I'm going to be doing more sort of like self-help videos, and also personal development, as well as I'm doing some comedy sketches that I'm writing for myself. So if those things sounds like something that you will enjoy, give me a subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And if you like the video I made today, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And feel free to give me some advice on how you think I can do better. Also, I linked my social media page down below. So if you want, check it out. And just remember, kindness, compassion, and love has to start within ourselves. And in order to do that, by being more tolerant and more compassionate towards other people, I think we can learn to do that for ourselves too. All right. Peace, love, until next time.